So the rebuilding efforts will begin. We've talked about that and all of the money that has come forward to support that. But how in the world are they going to be doing it? We want to check in with Kim for a talk with a local company who has some insight into the technology that will likely be used here.
Good morning to you guys. Well, we saw those dramatic images. The world just watched in horror as Notre Dame Cathedral went up in flames. Now we're starting to assess some of that damage, what is salvageable, and also we're looking at ways to rebuild. Well, there is some technology that's out there that's going to help with that rebuilding process. So I've got Scott Roelofs here with us this morning, who is giving us some insight into some of this technology that's going to help make that process a lot easier. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
So tell me a little bit about, first of all, what was done to the cathedral before it caught on fire that's going to help with that rebuilding process.
So as being a historical building, a professor from New York actually went out and laser scanned the entire cathedral, and it took, I believe, almost 2 years to scan the entire thing. What they do is they set up a laser, and it has a mirror that spins, and it throws about 1 billion laser points onto the building. Now, to measure between 2 points, you need point A, point B, and then you can measure the distance. Well, with 1 billion points, they call it point cloud, you can actually measure any distance. And so they can use that and build a full 3D model that measures to 1/10 of an inch. It's very accurate.
And he's not the only one that took these scans.
Yeah, that's right. They actually used it for a video game so that the character could run all over and jump on the walls and all kinds of stuff.
So tell me a little bit about some of the tools that are used to take these images.
Yeah, so laser is one way to do it. 2 ways that we do it is we use ultraviolet with a 3D Matterport camera, and
that's
this, yeah. And then we also do with photos. So the drone takes 4K photos, many times about 500 photos over a building, and it scans back and forth. And then when you upload it to the software, they stitch it together and create a 3D model.
So you have on your computer a model of something that you guys have taken images of.
Yeah, this is actually a building that we did. It was about 400 scans, but what it does is it creates a very, very accurate 3D model of a building that you can spin around, you can look at, you can measure, you can do counts, you can do all kinds of things. And the best part is you can come back to this building over and over and over again, recount, remeasure, do whatever you have to do, and it can be recreated.
How much easier is it going to be to rebuild Notre Dame because of this technology?
It's almost immeasurable. There's probably only a handful of people in the world that could look at a photo and say exactly what was done. But with these 3D models, almost any architect can look at them and they can rebuild almost the exact building with exact specifications. It's very exciting.
And we can also tell what sorts of materials were used in the building process, correct?
Absolutely. You know, with the photo, so he used both laser scan and photos. So with the scanning, with the photos, they're going to get almost an exact picture or model of what was used, exact measurements, everything like that. The rebuild will be several years ahead of its time without those scans.
What are some other practical uses of this technology for here in the Valley?
Yeah, sure. So we use them for cost segregation. It's a specialty tax thing, but you can use them for insurance purposes. Also, you can use them for 3D walkthroughs for people who are at a different location. So let's say you're an investor across the country or across the world. You could take this 3D model and show them and go, hey, here's the building that you have. Here's what it looks like, and you can see the exact model, and people can get a good idea of what they're looking at.
And I know you've been to Notre Dame before.
I have, yeah.
This kind of hits close to home for you.
It does, yeah. We actually honeymooned in Paris, and so it's just really nice to see that the rebuild is going to be done. It's also nice to see that a lot of people have donated money, and it's just going to start. It's going to take some time, but with these 3D scans, we're talking a number of years, not a number of decades.
All right, so if you'd like more information on this technology, these scans, Maybe you're interested in finding ways to use it within your home, business, etc. You can go to rcgvaluation.com. Scott, I'll send it back to you.
Boy, recreating something that is so old, I think it's going to be just so fascinating. So what they do there is pretty amazing.